All right, we're with Tim Sheridan, who is in Chicago instead of Arizona. Tim is the public address announcer at HoHoKam Stadium. So that means you have nothing to do after spring training, right?
Nothing to do in terms of public address announcing. That's true. I actually have to go back to working for a living.
hate when that happens. So what are you doing in Chicago?
I am here with the HoHoKams, and they have an annual business trip, and so I've been lucky enough to be able to join them, and we get to take in a couple games at Wrigley Field Thursday and Friday, and I'm also hoping to promote my Boys of Spring, the movie, which is intended to come out next January at Cubs Convention if all goes right.
If it goes right, yeah. Now, business, monkey business, or baseball business, or all sorts of...
They would probably say a little of both.
Okay.
Yeah, they may not admit to the monkey business part, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good trip.
Okay. So, the Boys of Spring, not to be confused with Roger Kahn's The Boys of Summer.
Exactly.
We don't want to have any copyright infringements. Chronicles the Cubs in spring training.
Well, it does. We do cover the history of Cubs spring training.
Beyond Arizona.
In Arizona, yes. I've actually been documenting and videotaping and photographing myself since I started there, which makes me a little older. That was 1984, but that was a great spring to start. So
good timing.
Yeah, it was. It was really a good year, and so that kind of hooked me into being a Cubs fan for life. And now I'm stuck with that, like so many of us. But the essence of that is I've been documenting myself, but there's a story of the Cubs in spring training that's really fascinating, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. Being out on Catalina Island for nearly 30 years when William Wrigley owned it, that's a fascinating chapter. So we went out there. West Baden Springs, Indiana, which is where the Cubs did some training when they last won the World Series in 1908. When they were an actual powerhouse team from 1906 to 1911, they were there. And so we follow those kinds of things, and for better or for worse, I'm somewhat in the mix there. Like the Cubs, I came to spring training as a young man in 1984 and had some dreams and aspirations, maybe like the Cubs winning the World Series, and it doesn't always work out, but
you haven't given up on those dreams and aspirations.
I would never give up on those dreams, and being a Cubs fan, I can't.
Part of your DNA.
Exactly.
So, this is a work in progress, the Boys of Spring?
It's a work in progress in the sense that I'm always documenting, and so that will never stop. Actually, once the movie comes out next spring, and after that, actually when the new Wrigleyville West complex is built, that we have a new spring training complex coming up. I hope to be there and christen that. It'll be like 30 or 31 years for me doing the PA announcing, so I'll be there with my cameras documenting. That's ongoing, but the movie is a little bit different because we give a lot more history, and we've done probably 100 interviews from Andy Pafko to all the Cubs Hall of Famers, and talk not just about spring training, but about different things that have affected them in life, which I think this movie's a little bit more about life and the struggles to have your dreams fulfilled as much as just showing what the history is.
So as a documentarian / movie maker, obviously there's struggles involved there, which is why we have www.kickstarter.com a part of this process?
Exactly. We've come to Kickstarter in hopes to kickstart the needed funding, obtain the needed funding to finish off the film, because essentially there's a lot of cost when we're talking about finishing this, and mainly when you're working with archival footage in terms of photographs and movie footage, you need a really good graphics artist to kind of give it a modern feel. I'm not that person. I document, I'm a photographer, yes, but I don't have the computer knowledge, and then the musical score is crucial to something like this. And those are the kind of things that cost money that I've been paying for this out of my pocket for all these years, and I don't intend to get any of that back. I don't care about getting any of that back. I just want to see this to its fruition and to bring out a great story to Cubs fans, because I think it's an interesting story that a lot of people don't know. And so that's why we're trying to get the final funding and get this thing out there. And
your quest would seem an easier one than the Cubs winning a World Series.
Well, I'm not.
They're both a little daunting, but
yeah, I would think that it may be easier, just given my history's a lot shorter than the Cubs in terms of not winning the World Series.
I don't think you'll go 100 years looking for financing.
I really hope that it's out in January Cubs convention. That's the goal, and next year. And I think perhaps the fact that I came in 1984, and then I took over the full-time public address announcing during spring training of 1989 for the spring. Another great year, another good year, I should say. It didn't finish off.
A Cubby coincidence. A couple of positive Cubby coincidences.
But perhaps there's a certain amount of my Irish luck that if this movie comes out next year, who knows? Maybe it'll bring the Cubs a little luck.
I guess, as always with the Cubs, it's wait till next year, right?
That's the standard line, but we hope to change that sometime soon.
All righty. Tim Sheridan, thank you.
You bet.